All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Bakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And this is going to be a lesson on how a NWO is coming, right? But it's not going to be the way how the world thinks it's going to be, right? And what that means is that, or what I'm going to be going into is how the world does need order, man. It does need a global world order and all these things that you hear these people say, right? But the way how they say it is under a wicked rulership, right? But the way Yahweh is actually going to enact this is going to be through a righteous rulership. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Now, the kingdom that the Israelites are going to receive is not going to happen because of us doing unrighteous dealings, injuries, right? And riches got by deceit. It's going to be because we're doing the things that you're supposed to do to rule, right? Righteousness, it doesn't, I believe there's a scripture that says, and righteousness leads to a kingdom, right? We're going to be living completely righteous and doing the right things at all times during the kingdom. We're not going to do nothing wrong. We're going to do the right thing at all times, always. And that's going to lead to us never having to fall and never having to drop out of our kingdom, man. And in part of that, we're going to be telling you people on this earth what to do. And we're going to be telling you not what to not do, right? We're going to rule over you with a rod of iron, like the scriptures say, right? And if you break the law, you will be punished for breaking the law, because we're going to make the earth beautiful, and we're not going to want anything to take place on the earth that stops the beautiful earth and hinders the peace that is on the earth. Whereas Esau right now, he does things to keep the peace not going, and he doesn't allow anybody on the earth to do anything that's going to lead to them finding peace. Whereas we're going to do the complete opposite. We're going to stop people from doing anything that leads to wickedness. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall be broken to shivers. Now, this scripture here links beautifully with a prophecy in regards to the Israelites about how they are going to rule the earth and judge among the nations and rebuke many people, which I'm going to read. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills. And all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we'll walk in his paths. So the nations are going to willingly want to learn anyway, but because they're not going to be how we are, having true righteousness imprinted into their body under the new covenant, they're going to rebel against it, because their flesh is going to be weak, like how our flesh is weak now, and they're going to rebel and lead astray, and we're going to judge them according to the law, not some of the time, every single time. And the judgment is going to be the same no matter what your ranking is in the society. If the so-called top Ishmaelite commits adultery, he's going to get exactly the same judgment as a lower level heathen. And that will be the judgment that's mentioned of what the scriptures say according to adultery. There's not going to be no leniency, and we're not going to accept a bribe like what Esau does now. You ain't going to be able to bribe us and be like, oh, if I slip you $500,000, will he let this one slide? No, we ain't letting none of it. We're not going to let none of it slide. Nothing's going to be let slid. This time in this society now is where things have been let slide, where judgment's been able to get away from happening. But in the time to come, righteous judgment is going to go out every single time, right? Every single time. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So we're going to get rid of war in this world. And there's a term in the world where it goes, where people say the war to end all wars. That's what's coming up. What's getting ready to happen on the earth right now is the war to end all wars. What's happening now, after this war happens, there's not going to be no more war, man. There ain't going to be no more war ever again. There's never going to be another war ever again on this earth, man. Never. Like, there's never going to be a war ever again. There's never going to be no world war. There's not going to be no, like people say, oh, I don't know what what is going to happen in World War III, but I know that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. No, there ain't going to be no World War IV. This is it. After this war takes place, there ain't going to be no more things that could be considered a war. You might have a few heathens trying to rebel, and a few heathens have a little battle against each other and try. But there's going to be so many Israelites around on the earth. The earth's going to be so heavily populated. The universe is going to be so heavily, densely populated with Israelites that before they even think to try and start anything that could be considered a war, we're going to already deactivate that ASAP. The chariots are going to be flying over. We're going to have it on. We're going to have the world on lock, man. You understand? A world order and NWO with the Israelites ruling in righteousness. They ain't gonna have the chance to, we found the ancient manuals. We found the ancient manuals on how to create an ICBM again, and we're gonna restart up the engines. No, you're not. Because before you even get the chance, we're gonna have smacked you up for even considering to think about trying to do that, man. Didn't you know that we beat the swords into plowshares and the spears into rulers? We ain't doing that no more. There ain't no war anymore. If any heathen start thinking that they're gonna make a tank, you ain't making no tanks. You ain't making no guns. You ain't making none of that. We're going to lock it off. It's going to be locked off, man. You better use the materials to make your land have more food. What you mean, war? You better grow some grapes or something. You better grow some apples. You better grow some oranges. You better grow some lettuce. You better learn how to sew some clothes. Forget war. You ain't doing no war. Or you want to improve your situation and you're thinking you're going to start a war? No, you ain't. You better learn some skills. You better learn righteousness if you want to improve your life. You ain't going to learn war so you can steal from another person. We ain't going to allow that. We're not going to be accepting that. And we're going to have them chariots flying over. We might just be sitting with it on cruise control mode, legs crossed on the chariot steering wheel, yeah, on the dashboard, looking through that sea of glass that we might have in our own chariots, man. Right? If we just if the alarms go off in there, we're gonna be like, yo, we're gonna park up the thing, man. Yo, park up, yo, park. Do you hear that? Can you smell that? Oh man, it smells like monkey meat again. Yo, let's see if these Moabites are cooking monkey again, man. Yo, park up the thing, man. Park up, man. We're gonna fly down, and if we see you doing any kind of funky business, up to any hanky panky, we're gonna rebuke that. You understand? That's what's gonna be happening. New world order, man. With the Israelites ruling, though. We ain't going to be allowing and accepting no wickedness, no war, no swords, yeah, no guns. What was that apocalypse thing, man? No more weapons, no more superpowers. That's what we're going to be on. We're going to be ruling over you in righteousness. If there's any woman if a woman tries to unalive her husband, talking about he cheated on me, he's an adulterer, he had 2 wives. No, you're a murderer. So you're going to get the judgment according to that now. He didn't do anything wrong, but you have now. So you're going to get judged. That's what's going to be going on. That you people don't understand, man. And there is an NWO coming, but it's not going to be who you think is going to be in charge of it. We're going to be in charge of it, man. Let me get this. We're going to be in charge. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Now, if you've got a ruler that judges situations 100% fair and does not accept hierarchy, does not accept a bribe, right? Who would not want to rule? Who would not want to, live under a society like that? I'm going to go so far to say something outrageous right now. Even if I was not an Israelite, right? Let's just say I'm not an Israelite, which I don't believe that, right? But let's say I wasn't an Israelite, I would still rather live under the kingdom that the Israelites are talking about, that I hear the Hebrew Israelites speaking about, that I'm speaking about right now myself. I'd rather live under that society than this one. Because in that society and under that system, if somebody did something unlawful to me and something wicked to me, I know I'm going to get some justice, right? I know that there's going to be some justice there, and there'll also be some mercy for me, even if I do something wrong. But under this society, they ain't really no justice. They ain't really no mercy, man. They ain't really no leniency. They ain't really no righteousness around here. But in the society that we're talking about as Israelites, there is going to be. Verse 4 again, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And now, just by the Israelites being in charge, like every single Israelite's gonna be righteous. When you read what the new covenant is, right? Every single Israelite's gonna be righteous. They're not gonna have to tell another Israelite to keep the laws, right? But listen to this scripture here, Sirach chapter 10 and verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of ruler of this, and what manner of ruler the city, and what manner of ruler of the city is, such are they that dwell therein. So just by us being in power in this world and ruling in righteousness, all 100% of Israelites, there's not gonna be like a 2/3 of Israel in the kingdom. That's not gonna be a thing that exists anymore. The 2/3 is something for now. After this, there ain't gonna be no such thing as the sons of Belial, a wicked Israelites, no Eve and all that. We ain't gonna say none of that. We're gonna be righteous, right? But just by the world seeing what righteousness looks like, they're gonna have a better way to copy it, man. Right? Just like how right now in this world, people try and copy Esau and try and use Esau as this is the way this is the way you're supposed to live. No, in the kingdom, people are gonna have an example. That's the thing that people have been missing in this world, an example of how to be righteous, right? Whereas when Yahweh Shai was on this earth, people had an example, and that's what the scriptures are speaking about when it says, "Oh, the law was a schoolmaster." The law was there given to the Israelites, not because that was their be all and end all of salvation. That was the example that was shown to them. Like, okay, this is the things that you're supposed to do. This is what a righteous person would do. This is the things that righteous people do, so that when they would eventually see the Messiah, they were supposed to be like, man, this has got to be the Messiah, because based on our study of the law and how this law kind of seems like it's contrary to this law, but obviously in a situation like this, really, you're supposed to go with this law first. Like how the two main things of the law of to love your heart with all your heart and to love your neighbor with love your brother as you love yourself, right? Well, in that situation, then if it's the Sabbath and your brother's hurt and and you're gonna have to do something that would be considered work, okay, you get better work to help him then, right? That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. And that was what the law was, the schoolmaster, so that he's supposed to make the Israelites realize, okay, this guy right here, this guy definitely is the Messiah, because look at what he's doing. He ain't doing nothing wrong. And okay, he technically broke the Sabbath, but did he break the law? No, because he broke the Sabbath, so-called, to do something good for his fellow brother. He healed somebody on the Sabbath, but Pharisees was talking about where is he at? We need to stone him because he broke the Sabbath. Like, that just showed that they didn't understand the law properly. And when we're in the kingdom, these heathen are going to have an example. They're going to hear stories about how the Israelites are righteous. And that's going to naturally just lead to them being more righteous, man. It's going to naturally have a knock-on effect, man. Because a new order is definitely coming, but it's not going to be the way the world thought it was going to be. We're going to be in charge of it, man. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So all the current kingdoms and all the current rulerships, and anybody that thinks that they're going to rule next after Esau, or Esau is dropping, the West is having a knock-on effect and it's dropping in the world, and this might be the next mainstream ruler. No, you ain't going to be. You ain't going to be next up. The Israelites are next up, man. They ain't going to be we're going to be the next ones to take care of things, and we're going to be. No, you're not going to be. No, you're not. You thought you was going to, but actually, no, you're not. Right? The Israelites are going to be the next, and not the next only, the last. The next ruler is the last one. Right? There's not going to be a time where it's literally, it literally says it in his prophecy, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Now, ultimately, this is Yahweh Shai's kingdom that was prophesied when you go to Luke 1 and 33. Luke chapter 1 and verse 33. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. But the Israelites are going to be joint heirs with this kingdom. So it's going to be a thing where it's a continual intergalactic, inter-universal, whatever you want to call it, man, worldwide order of the Israelites ruling over everyone, and over everything in righteousness, to the point where you'd be a fool to not want him to rule. Like right now in this world, had Esau not started doing all the bugged out things that he's doing and going too far, the world would have been really happy for him to just be the one that's kind of considered, okay, he rules and we all kind of get our little portion here and our little portion there. The world would have been pretty much content with that. But he started doing the most, started peeling off extra for himself, stealing extra from what was already stolen, to the point where people were like, nah, we need to try and do something against these guys. And even still, for all of that, these people still really love America. If they could have the American way without Esau being in charge of it, and they could kind of control the steering wheel of America, they'd do that and just put their own heathenish spin on it, man. Then in chapter 7 and verse 27, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. They're gonna all serve and bow down, man. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all might think in your minds, oh man, we ain't accepting this. No, you're gonna accept it, because the Edomites are gonna be an example of what happens if you don't want to accept it. And as mad as it sounds, even after 999 years of Esau being shown, we're going to be in charge forever, and none of you people can take us down anymore. We're under the new covenant, baby. We can't fall now. We're changed, man. We're gods now that don't die. Excuse me. We're gods now that are immortal like gods. Esau's still, after 999 years of that, going to still be thinking somewhere in the back of his mind, now I can take them down. Now I can overcome this. Just give me enough time and I'll be able to turn some sticks into a pistol or something like that and be able to take these down. No, he ain't going to be able to, but he's going to think that in his wicked mind, right? In his wicked, evil heart, he's going to think he can do something, pull something out of the bag, right? And because he's not going to want us to just rule the earth, and ultimately because it's prophecy anyway, Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18 is going to be activated, and Edomites are not going to exist anymore. And that's going to be the ultimate fear factor for the rest of the nations that are going to know, do not try the Israelites. Don't test. Now, what did Ice Cube say in Friday? You heard what happened to the last security guards, right? That's what people are going to be saying about the Edomites, man. You heard what happened to the last nation that didn't want the Israelites to rule over them, right? You heard what happened, right? So you went on, like, let's just say like 100 or 100,000 Ishmaelites or something like that decide to rebel in the kingdom. The rest of the millions of the nation are going to be like, what are you trying to do? So you want our whole nation to receive the same judgment like Obadiah 1 and 18, just because you 100,000 don't want to bow down and get with the program. We ain't accepting that. We're snitching. That's what it's going to be. Or because you 100,000 are upset, y'all are trying to make everyone else go down. And that's what we're receiving now as trying to be of the hopeful elect, because we ain't happy with this current society right now and we're seeking more. Our own nation are trying to look at us sideways. Oh, y'all are complaining about this and that, complaining about Esau, but everything y'all got comes from the so-called white man. Y'all are calling him the devil. Even the devil knows the Bible. Oh, y'all are saying all of this and all of that, yeah. But here's the thing though, like everything you've got is from the so-called white man though. So obviously, like you man ain't really understanding what you're talking about and that. Yeah, whatever. We already know what, if we're gonna, by the time we get into the kingdom, we're gonna know what it all feels like. You all ain't gonna be able to try and say, oh, you don't understand Israel because it's hard out here. No, we do understand. We've overcame the same demons and didn't take the MOTB in the past life, and now we're changed, man, and there ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Don't try and come to us with no complaints. Seek righteousness and nothing bad's gonna happen to you. But if you sin, you're gonna be judged. Try and avoid sins unto death. That's the things that we're going to be telling you, heathens. Try and avoid committing sins unto death. Yeah, that's what we're going to be telling y'all. Isaiah chapter 16 verse 12, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee, shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Now, why would you want to go and get wasted? Isn't that what I used to say on the screen in GTA? When you run out of the health bar, wasted, right? That just means all your HP points are deleted, man. Why you want to get wasted for? Huh? Why you want to get wasted? Just bow down and let us rule over y'all. Right? Don't try and rock the boat. Don't try and be a hero. Just accept what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Verse 14. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Like, y'all are getting ready to, in the same place we said we ain't the people. Yeah, we are the people. Verse 15, whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee also an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Where y'all are getting ready to praise us, man. And be like, man, damn, these are some good rulers. Damn, these people are righteous. A wickedness happened to me, and I thought all my wealth was going to be drained. I never get my money back. No, they got me my money back sevenfold. Damn, these children of Israel really are something, boy. And there's going to be certain heathens that eventually will perish, but they're going to have remembered when Esau was ruling. And we're going to be in our kingdom, they're going to start gradually seeing how we do things, and we're like, raw. The difference between these people is so complete polar opposites. I'm prepared to bow down and try and do whatever I can do to get a good portion in this place, man. Whatever I can do to make these people happy, I'm prepared to do that, because as I can see, they reward people that do righteousness. I actually get a reward for once in the world for doing the right thing, whereas in the past that never happened. In the past there was a saying, nice guys finish last. But in this world, the nice guys, the good guys, win first. Verse 16, thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, Yahweh, and thou shalt know that Yahweh am thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, and the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thy exactors righteousness. We're going to be just so up on things, man. It's going to happen quick. Violence shall not be heard in thy land. There ain't going to be no drive-bys. There ain't going to be no Jakes talking about, yo, I'm from the worst part of the block, man. It's crazy. Shootings, drugs, every mom, mama on crack. Man, it's the good. I'm from the trenches, the good, man. I'm talking about water and cornflakes. There ain't going to be no more boasting about how to drag out your areas. You're in the area that I'm from, man. It's peak, you know. Like, it's mad out here, bruv. Like, 25 stabbings a year, bruv. Like, every 2 months, someone's mama crying on the phone. Like, man, I know about 25 people that died last week, man. Like, it's crazy out here, yo. There ain't gonna be none of that BS. There's gonna be, man, but the area that I live in is so beautiful. Like, come and have a walk through this beautiful place. Let me show you this river. Let me show you my own natural reserve zoo. And look at all the exotic animals that just walk through here on a regular, minding their own business. Like, just look at it. Let me show you how nice these grapes taste on this tree, on this vine, that you can just walk through and just pick a grape, and it just tastes way better than anything you ever tasted before. And it's got seeds in it. And look at this wine that I've been making. Yeah, you ever tasted a wine like this? Have a sip of this. Ooh, that's gorgeous. That's lovely. You'll have a taste of this bread. Look how beautiful. Like, that's what Jake should be talking about. But Jake in this society is so corrupted and being defiled that they boast about how wicked the area is. Yo, I'm from this area, you know. Yo, I'm from that area, you know. But in the kingdom, we're gonna be like, yo, I'm from this place. Oh, I've heard about that place. Yeah, it's beautiful. Is it just like how they say? It's even better. That's what it's gonna be in the kingdom, man. And Apostle Gabara goes into how you have to have a good imagination. Well, that's what I'm trying to learn, man. Because the more imagination you have, the more you can be like, man, bun that MOTB, man. I ain't taking no MOTB. I ain't taking none of that. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. I ain't taking no M, no O, no T, or no B. Bun to that, bonfire to all of that, what you're talking about. That's what we're hoping to be like, man. Verse 21. Thy people all shall be all right. Thy people also shall be all righteous. Every single Israelite righteous under the new covenant. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified, because by us being righteous and beautiful, people are going to know Yahweh Shai exists. And through them knowing Yahweh Shai exists, they're going to know that Yahweh exists. So it's a full cycle, man. People are not going to deny the existence of Yahweh when they see the things that we do, because how else could a group of people be always doing the right thing forever, except that God existed in heavens? Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in his time. So we're going to increase on our individual nations as men, because every single Israelite man is a nation, right? But then the nation of Israel is the main nation that we go back to. And every single individual Israelite man is going to become a nation, which we already are nations now. Like, let's just say that an Israelite man's got one son, 5 daughters. His nation now is himself and his 5 and his son. So that's 2. And then his 5 daughters. So that would be 7. So that nation would have 7 members. But the daughters do not add any members to the nation, because they don't have a seed. So his now nation is going to only increase further by him having children, the man himself, or by his son having children, which would then also add numbers to the man's own nation. And that's why Israel, Jacob, will always have a bigger nation than any of the 12 tribes of Judah, because every time they have a son, they add to his nation of being an Israelite, being Israel. Right? So if a person from Judah, and this is the reason why the scriptures say don't go into endless genealogy, because this thing, as beautiful as it is to speak about, it's not even relevant for now. But I'm still going to say this point anyway. Every single time Judah, Benjamin, Levi, any of the 12 tribes of Israel produces a child, right, man or woman, that is another Israelite born, but it's also an addition to the nation, which is also a tribe of Judah or Benjamin or whatever tribe it was being born. But because they all go back to Israel, they ultimately are always extending Israel's numbers, and that's why it says that Israel is going to be at the sands of the sea. Israel is going to be at the sands of the sea, man, that cannot be numbered or measured, because there's going to be so many different nations within the nation of Israel that are going to be like, raw, if this one person is from the tribe of Judah, for example, let's say, and he's got 100,000 descendants, then how many descendants come from the tribe of Judah in general? And then you're going to have to think, man, and if that's the case for just Judah alone, if just one man has got like these thousands of wives and he's got hundreds of thousands of descendants that come from his line only, but he's from the tribe of Judah, but just from himself as from the tribe of Judah, he's got that many. Well, how much would another person from Judah have? And then it's going to be like, okay, and then if that's the case, then how much does the whole tribe of Judah in general have? And then it's going to be like, okay, and then what about all the other tribes? And then it's going to be like, okay, and then what about the Israelites in general? And if he was to add the numbers up, if it was even possible, and be like, man, let's just say that their numbers are like the sands of the sea. Let's not even go there trying to calculate the number, because it's too high. It's too vast. It's not possible. All right, this is the world order that's getting ready to happen. Now, ask a Christian what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like, and you ain't going to hear none of this. They're going to be talking about some heaven, some hell. They never tell you how you're going to be living in the heaven and hell, though. You're going to be tortured with fire and brimstone. Okay, how, though? How are you going to be tortured with fire and brimstone in a place where you burn? How is there a place that somehow exists that you burn forever? How does that exist? Where is it? How'd you get there? Oh, you die. Yeah, okay, but how'd you get there, though? Because we don't believe in heaven and hell as Israelites. But they come with their bogged out stuff running their mouth all the time, but they don't really have no answers, man. And I've kind of went long on this, so I'm going to end this lesson now, because I just wanted to talk about the kingdom for a little bit. I'm going to end the lesson. Shalom.